What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dudeality podcast, where our motto is living comfortably uncomfortable. My name is Ian Perez, joined by Jonathan Mercado, Victor Rivera, and Chris Zora. We're four ordinary dudes with extraordinary dreams. Jonathan, what's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Hey, I've been messing up on my little intro I did for myself. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to bring that back, that excitement, because it brought out my energy. So let's see if I can do it without messing up. What's up, everyone? And thank you for tuning into another episode where we go from the inside out. We turn our dreams into reality. We stop all the wishing and we start taking action. This podcast, guys, we discuss leadership, entrepreneurship, self-development, financial growth, guys. And we're just looking to get 1% better every single day. So thank you for tuning in on this journey with us. But as always, we got to jump into the arena of fire where we hold each other accountable on how we're doing. The benchmarks are we making? Are we doing the things that we're supposed to be doing to push the needle forward? Throw the rock to one of you guys. Let's recap the week.
Yo, I'll kick it off, man. Great to be on again with you guys and anyone that's listening. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Like Jonathan said, just about getting 1% better. And man, I've been getting 1% better, man. I'm back in my mojo, man. I'm working out. I hit the gym twice this week on top of everything else that I was doing. So I'm running, hitting the gym, playing ball as well.
Playing ball. He's on it.
So, oh man, my stroke is back. I wasn't on it, but I was good.
I gotta be honest. For anybody listening, I give Victor a hard time, but he's a bucket, man. If I could pick anybody on the team, it's got to be Victor. He's gonna put up some buckets.
I'm like your all around guy.
Yeah, defense, put up the board. If you need to make a shot, I'm just give it to Victor. I know he's gonna go in and bully somebody into a little floater or a little 2-pointer.
Yeah. Hey, I will say low key. Last time we spoke, that little guy was annoying the heck out of me, man. He was fighting for every single thing.
I could tell.
I was telling myself, you better shut up. This fool's probably got some like cholo friends or something. Gonna beat me up.
I was
later.
surprised. So there's one guy. So the little story. We play at the ghetto courts, right? But they're the best ballers, right? And it's the shaded cover. It's a good basketball court to go play with some good competition. And some guy showed up. He was a little bit loud. He was a little bit like on the thuggish side. He had a deep voice, man. He was
small though.
He was small, but he was
under 5 feet for sure.
He was like a chihuahua, bro. He had a big bark. Man. And he was constantly just calling all the fouls, like complaining, calling all the fouls, using all the language, and just like getting upset off of everything with this deep voice. And luckily, it was on my team.
I would say that. Yeah.
Luckily, it was on my team. But Victor would chirp back a couple of times. And I was like, I was like, I don't know if I would want to chirp back to this guy because he seems like he would go to that next level. But he did it. And Victor would chirp back. And I was like, okay, Vic, I see you.
But I told us, like, you better calm down because see if he gets mad one of these times. And then I was like, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm like, nah. But no, it was good. But no, man, I'm back as far as exercise. I'm back on it. I'm glad I was out of it for a little bit, but it's been, I think, almost a full month where I'm consistently doing the work, going tracking my macros is good. I'm reading the book. So it's pretty interesting right now. So it's good stuff, man.
You're in a good season, brother.
Yeah.
Use that season. Lean into it, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's up, Chris?
Yeah, these last 2 weeks have not been the greatest for me as far as fitness and everything goes. I mean, I've been playing the volleyball, but that's the only like physical activities I've really been doing. Just been super tied up with trying to get prepped for the baby and everything. So we're trying to get the nursery taken care of, selling stuff on Facebook to clear the room out, like just trying to just get everything organized. So that's been taking a lot of my time. But yeah, I mean, and then obviously work as well. Still haven't started reading my book, but I'm gonna finish it because I've made it this far. I've got to finish a book each month.
I know you've probably been the best one out of us, or you and
I haven't missed a month.
Yeah,
yet,
you haven't
so
missed
I'm
one. I think
lie.
we all struggled a little bit with the book. Me and
one.
Ian and Jonathan, but you've been on it.
One.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be flying back to Cali end of this week, so I'll bring a book with me on the plane. Start reading
There you go.
like on the
Yeah,
plane, and
that's some time to really burn through the book. Yep.
yeah, I'll make sure I get it done, but I might have to find a shorter book this time.
For sure.
But yeah, that's been it.
We still don't have a confirmed closing date. We have like a rough end of the month, 11:30. I'm just trying to like confirm it, which I sent an email out. It's no confirmation yet. I don't know what's going on. We're like so close. It's like
I know
so
it's
close.
like it's like
It
the carrot at
happens.
the end of the stick. Like it's like we keep getting closer, and then they just keep moving
It's
further and further apart.
It's more common than you
away.
think. Like even just buying a house, sometimes the closing just takes a while. Sometimes something
so
always.
I mean,
wild.
that's definitely true, but not like this.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, definitely not like
I
this.
bought my house for myself, and then this has definitely been a whole different type of process.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If they could just give that as confirming, so that way me and Chris can make the plans to go fly out there and make this happen. Do like a little vlog and just record everything. So, make some history. I'm ready for that. Like, I'm just like, man, can somebody just email us back and be like, here's the date, guys, make plans.
Yeah. And that's actually like, cause we were originally actually supposed to, the original plan was actually supposed to be today is what our title company had said, but I guess it was, or not our title, the lender had said, but the title company had never had that confirmed. And then when we asked the sellers, or when we asked our attorney to ask the seller's attorney, they're like, oh no, we need to delay it. Because we were going to originally try to set it up for like the 18th or 19th when we were both available. But I'm kind of glad they got pushed back because I did want the first time that we did get a property to be in Chicago when we signed. So if we can get the closing on the 30th, which I'm hoping we can, that will actually allow us to do so.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just so many cooks in the kitchen, right? And they're all cooking something different.
No, it's like a buffet.
We'll get there, guys. We're not giving up, inch by inch. What's up, Mr. Stewart?
Oh, come on now.
Ian?
Nah, I don't care. What's crazy is I go by Stewart at work. So when they hear Ian, they're like, who's Ian? I'm like, I literally go by Ian everywhere but here.
The reason I said Stewart is because on your Zoom name it says Stewart Perez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's his actual first name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So people are like, that's weird. Why don't you go by Stewart? I don't know. That my parents just called me by Ian. That's what I went by.
You can tell them you're not a rat.
Pretty sure he's a mouse.
A mouse, whatever.
Oh, you're like Stuart Little.
Anyways,
come on now. Come on now, guys.
Kids. Thank you. Yeah, I'm EW. He's UART. Anyways, the past week's been pretty solid. I balled with Jonathan this past Friday.
Good.
And then it was a good little sesh for sure. My lungs were burning, so that's what I get for being inconsistent. But I worked. Today's Tuesday. Worked out yesterday in my garage, and then this morning I met Jonathan at 6 a.m. Did some legs. So working out's starting good. Got to keep it rolling. I finally finished my book after like 4 months or something like that. That was done.
He finished it. Was that thing like a monk, right? Was that the one?
Yeah.
That was a big book. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's like 8, 9, 10 hours. So it is a hefty book.
It's a very good book, and I was disappointed that I didn't listen to it consistent, because when I did, like, obviously you hearing just different perspectives and just nuggets from it, I felt good because it kind of made you think, obviously some similarities between being a monk and then being a Christian, and then just different aspects of it. You just kind of like, I kind of see why it's that way, and it was pretty cool. It was enlightening. I liked it. I definitely will plan on listening to it again straight through. But book number, I think this will probably be like 5th book this year, I think. But the next one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
Yeah.
And
I
then
heard nothing but good things. My son's read it. I haven't read it.
Steph started it. Yeah, Steph started it. So, but I'd rather listen to it. I don't want to read it.
Oh man, I think he narrates it. Does he narrate it?
I haven't started it, but I would love for him to do it. That'd be pretty badass. That'd be like a Jocko book.
Jocko, yeah.
Yeah. And then this week I forked up some cash to invest in a talent or a hobby that can, my goal is to lead to a little side hustle and maybe a little bit of a company that I want to create in photography and videography. So I bought a nice little DSLR camera to start taking pictures and recording stuff. So we'll see where that goes.
Taking pics of me. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sure. I figured that was,
do you have any experience?
He said,
do you have any experience?
Pornography. I'm just kidding.
Okay. No. I believe in God. I'm a Jesus boy. But to answer your question, Chris, with the exception of my iPhone, no. I mean, I kind of sold them when I worked at Best Buy, so I kind of had an understanding of cameras. But now I've just been diving into Google and YouTube, learning about f-stops and aperture and shutter speed and how they all intertwine with each other. So I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. What really got me going was like seeing two people that I follow on Instagram that are literally geographically close to me and close in age, and they're not really doing anything like special per se, but they're like taking pictures and doing videos for high school football. And obviously sports has always been a big part of my life. So I would love to be part of that, nice. And my kids get older, take pictures of them, record them, make, high vids or something like that. But that's been my week.
Just adding more tools to your bag, homie. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, another thing too, I thought about it is like, there's photographers for real estate. So when I get good at it, like obviously you take pictures for real estate and post it up. So that was obviously a skill or tool I wanted to add to the plan of getting into real estate,
I automatically thought thinking like business, like you're a value, right? You're adding value to anything, whether it be like a little marketing promo or anything like that. You're that value that could edit, cut it, video, shoot it, whatever, put it together, done.
Sound like a Daft Punk song.
Yeah. Did I just busted a little rhyme there. Well, hey brother, I'm glad to start working out with you again. Just showing up, brother. Tuesday, Thursdays, 2 to 3 times a week. Let's do it. For me, guys, I just finished the Power of Self-Discipline. It was a little 3-hour read. Did it with my son, kind of hold that accountability with him. So I'm already good for the month of October or November. But I am also going on a trip. I got more leadership conference coming up this week from Wednesday through Friday. And I love traveling because I get to finish a book. Like literally every single time I travel, I know for sure I'm finishing up a book, right? Because normally it's like a 3-4 hour drive there and back. And that's going to be a book. So I'm looking at maybe finding Atomic Habits or the Talent Code. I'm gonna have to, do research on both of them, see which one I want. Is anybody familiar with any?
I've thought about getting the Atomic Habits. Like I've seen that.
I'm pretty sure
I have Target.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have the paperback of it.
Yeah. So I might go with it. It is a staple. My wife has the book. She's finished reading it. She said I need to read it. And I was like, okay, I'll take your word on it. So I might just, make the wife happy. Like, you know what, babe, because of you, I'm going to read this book. Right. But other than that, things have been flowing as always, just getting things done, working out, being consistent. I would let you know that I did not finish 75 hard. Right. I had all those events. I just couldn't get my second workout in. I stopped at day 60. And I'm going to be completely honest. Normally, I'm able to jump back on board the following day. But wow, did I notice some willpower fatigue when I wanted to do my second workout. Like there's questions there if I should get it done. Normally when I was on the 75 hard, it was like a no doubt, I'm getting it done, right? It was like, it wasn't a question. But since I stopped 75 hard the next day, there was a question. I was like, whoa, I super aware. I was like, wow, why am I questioning it? And because I questioned it, I didn't do it. So the power of like having a strong goal, right? And having accountability and doing it with somebody. And man, it's just super powerful. And I noticed, and now when it comes to like my nutrition, I'm like a little, it's not as on point. I'm back on, like I haven't blown up or did anything stupid or crazy, but there's a lot of questions and thinking, right? And there shouldn't be, it should be automatic. And so maybe here pretty soon, I'll jump back onto something like super serious, super committed to let you guys know. And so that way I can get back on that high level like that. Doing 75 hard, I was on that high level. There's like no doubt I'm hitting everything. Everything's getting done. So I'm still good though. We're going to find that book, finish it. And then that'll be 2 books in the month of November. strategy, guys. Get a small book and then get a normal size book.
Yeah, I read 10 books this month. How long were they? No, they're 2 hours each, bro.
No, but I want to go ahead and pop off the podcast, guys. I have a good topic. It's called mental agility, and man, this one just gave me hairs on my back. Just went up, right? Things started clicking. I've heard it before. I've actually seen scenarios of it. I just really didn't understand it, and I'm like, I think this is just a big key in people's, to unlock their success. Really understanding it and being super aware of mental agility and adopting that mindset. Before I go any further with mental agility, you may not be aware of what that even is. So I'm gonna have Victor kind of just read off the definition for me.
Yeah, so mental agility, guys, it's the capacity to respond to events in a flexible way and able to move quickly between different ideas. So when you think about like physical agility, right, you're moving your feet, you're like changing directions real quick, right? You're just reacting and just moving, right? So mental agility is the same. It's like, but just mentally, right? How can you shift your mind from one thing to another? How can you adapt change quickly? Well, you don't feel overwhelmed, you don't feel frustrated, you don't feel like, oh, I don't know, like you don't freeze, right? You can just move, right? You move to where you need to move.
I like that you said adapt, because that was the first thing that popped in my head when I was reading what it is. Like, it's basically, a lot of it's adaptability.
You took it right out of my mouth, Chris. I was going to say, AKA in layman terms, adapt. That's basically what it is. And so I came across this topic because I was listening to a soldier, a Marine, speak about their story, about what makes them the best Marines, the best Marines. And so, as everyone knows, Marines, they go through strict training, like routine training, planning, planning to the highest level. If you ever read or you watched any kind of movie, you would understand that, man, what they do is on a crazy level that kind of doubts, can you even do that? Can you even handle that? Like that's that level where it's like, oh my gosh, these guys are the top of the line, the bravest of the brave, the highest of the trained, and they get shit done, right? And so, but there's levels to Marines, right? What makes the best teams? What makes the best Marines? What makes this crew, this unit, like the legacy? And they could have the best plan, they can have the best training in the entire world, but they have this mindset, mental agility, where they understand this one rule. When they go on that mission, the first rule is the plan's going to fail. Yeah, does that make sense? Like the first rule is the plan is going to fail. Even they did the meticulous, they had the best people, the smartest people, the brightest people to develop this plan. The first rule that makes the best Marines is that the plan is going to fail, and they are trained off mental agility, the strength of the mind able to adapt, right? Because when they go out there, they're like, the plan is never the plan when you get there. Like, it sounds great, we did all the things, but when you get there, the plan, it usually something pops up, life happens, something happens that's out of their control, but they understand that the mission is still the mission. There's no retreating. We're here. The plan is not there anymore. We can't give up. We can't retreat. The next best thing is to adapt. And what that made me think of, that word adapt, is so many of us have the best plan in the world of how our life is going to turn out. And usually life happens somewhere along the ways. There comes that bump in the road. There comes that adversity. There comes that opposition. And you hit it, and maybe you adapt. But the question is, what makes the Marines different than us human beings who we're not trained that way, is when that opposition does happen and you have to adapt, will you adapt with the same amount of energy, if not more energy, into the new adapted plan? That's how Marines become the best of the best versus an average Joe. Because I'm not going to lie, I think majorities hit that opposition, hit that adversity, and we're like, well, I guess we're going to go this way. And, you kind of just go through the motions of going the other way, and you don't execute because you didn't put the same amount of energy as you have for the first plan with the new plan. Now, that made me think about my scenario as an entrepreneur. And when COVID happened, completely shut us down from being outdoors and working out with a group of people. And I came to the average thinking of when we had to pivot as a whole company and go virtual. And the only way to survive was if all the trainers went then go do virtual. Now, virtual for us is literally something scary, something new, something that none of us are even good at whatsoever. Being on camera and training people you can't even see, learning a whole new way of training. I wasn't too thrilled about it whatsoever, but I was all like, I mean, I guess if this is the only way, then let me go ahead and go the other way. But because I didn't go with it with the same amount of energy, the same amount of enthusiasm, if I was going outdoors, I noticed something along these lines where I didn't blow up like all the trainers that a small percent of the trainers did. They blew up virtual. Like they literally took their business and just flourished galore during COVID. They increased the revenue by maybe $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 a year off of one simple reason is because when that pivot, that opposition came, they put more energy into learning virtual than the other trainers did. And I was just sitting here like, man, virtual kind of sucks, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And my income or my ability to impact was the same way. I was not really impacting or moving in that direction. And I got to see the other trainers. I'm like, wow, these guys are blowing up. So when I heard this story, that's like the first thing that came into mind. I was like, whoa, this is pretty deep. So I want to ask you guys to make it maybe in your arena, your experience when they told the story, what makes the difference between, regular people versus the highest level of people or successful people? That one thing is they adapt to the new plan with more energy, more enthusiasm than the first plan.
I think the first step, like when you compare what we just said, is a set of group of trainers accepted the situation and others kind of like not really fully accepted it yet. So, and that's one of the first steps when I was researching this and like, because mental, what is it, agility was like, I never heard of that. I even asked you guys in text, I don't know where I could go with this. And and then I was looking at first thing that popped up, like, oh shoot, it's right there. There's a whole bunch of content about mental agility. It's crazy. But kind of the first steps to inadaptability or mental agility is to accept the situation that's in front of you. Right. We just said that Marines go into a mission or whatnot, and they already know something's gonna go wrong. Like something is never gonna go the right way. It's a good, very like comparison to life. Life never goes the right way. Like you plan something, but never goes the right way. My experience this year is like, man, I had a plan at the beginning of the year, New Year resolutions, right? Man, I planned everything. I had an Excel sheet, everything, like my business plan month to month, what I was gonna do. So all that, and it didn't, none of it went, went the right way. Bro.
You got kicked in the mouth.
Nothing went the right way. Like 3 months in, I was like, damn, like I was not hitting the, the goal I wanted to hit. And then, baby came, so a bunch of bumps in the road, but you just, and it was like moments in time where you're like, I hate this, right? You're kind of like, not sulking, but you're like, man, well, what am I going to do? It's not turning out the way I wanted it to be. You kind of maybe get a little angry, a little sad, a little frustrated with the situation, but you're either going to, accept the situation so you can move forward. You can never move to adapt. You can never adapt or be agile mentally. We can shift your mind to the next thing where you can put your mind in a space where, okay, so it's not going my way. All right, now what's the next step to get back on track or catch up or whatever you got to do. So unless you accept your situation where you're in to where, okay, this didn't go right. All right, so man, all right, I got to accept it. All right, didn't go this way. Okay, now let's lay it out. What went wrong or what else can I do to keep going? And that's been really just adapting and just changing directions. Like, all right, this didn't work. And sometimes you just gotta accept and say, okay, I took an L that month. It's just like I took an L, I didn't do it. Damn, and so, but and you gotta accept it and just move forward. I think that's step one.
I think I want just real quick. You said, hey, evaluate that month, agreed taking L. But what I see a lot of things in the fitness industry, what I see a lot happen is they take the L, they're like, oh yeah, I took an L, but they put the same plan on repeat next month.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think a lot of us do. They're like, oh, okay, let's redo it again, like put it on repeat, same exact actions. But that's kind of like, what is that saying? Like the insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to think about and saying, all right, don't try the same thing over again, right? It didn't work for a reason. So sometimes, I would say this for like a fitness industry, like for us, I had to think of, okay, like what's changing, like what's people's trending, like what's going out there, what's out, and like the market changes, things, people, what they find important, it may be, it's different now. So things change all the time, right? So like in COVID, virtual, like man, we blew up. I didn't blow up as much as other people did as far as their revenue, but I got it. Like last year was probably my biggest, increase in business just from virtual itself. To gain a lot of new, campers or members from there. But this year is different. This year was completely different. So I didn't see the same. I would say I was doing the same thing. That's the thing. That's to your point. I did the same thing, but didn't have the same result, right? And so as far as in the virtual space is concerned, but yeah, definitely don't repeat the same thing you did before expecting the same result.
Yeah, so you guys were talking about like when you were describing mental agility and like adaptability, the quote that came to mind right off the bat was, "Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face."
I like that.
I was thinking about a different one, but yeah, Mike Tyson, right? It's Mike Tyson.
Exactly. Yeah. So but that reminded. I mean, you were telling your story. Is like it kind of reminded me of just my start to like MRI. Like I had got this position that I was there. Like they would call you in if they needed you at a certain location for a day or whatever, and I really wasn't getting much work, and so I started applying to other jobs, and I even went to I went to my career counselor, I guess, at the school where I did my program at, and she calls me back after like a couple of interviews, whatever. She called me back and asked me, like, how do you feel about working at a vet hospital? And I'm thinking like a VA hospital, like working with veterans and everything. Like, yeah, no, I mean, whatever. Like, I just want to get work. And then she said, "Oh, okay. So you don't mind working with animals?" I'm like, "Oh, a veterinary hospital." But I said, "You know what? I'll take the interview." And they ended up offering me the position, and I took it. And at that point, like it had been a challenge to get like an actual MRI gig. Not a lot of places want to hire a new grad. I mean, everyone experiences this. Like when you're fresh out of school, it's like they all want 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 years of experience under your belt. But I was like, honestly, I'm up to the challenge. Like I don't know anything about animals. I never grew up having pets really. But screw it, like let's do this. And then not only did I do MRI, I had to scrub into surgeries. I had to learn all this other stuff that I never thought I would ever do in my life. And it actually was a great experience, but like I just shifted and like just changed the direction of where I was going. And then like when the opportunity presented itself, then I shifted back into what I was originally trying to get towards.
Yeah. So you were constantly adapting.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like I've always been that way.
Yeah.
When I was looking up mental agility, like some of the things that they mentioned were like being open-minded and like not just settling for the first solution to a problem. Like sometimes the first solution is not necessarily the best solution, or the fastest solution is not always the best solution. And like if you get one solution, be open to looking at multiple solutions because there might be one that's more effective, and then prevent a problem later down the road.
I like that. So whenever I go in a team meeting and I'm trying to plan an event, normally nobody doesn't speak. I'll usually speak first, and let's say I'll give out my idea. But when I give out my idea, I look at everyone. I'm like, "Hey, break that apart. What's wrong with that? Tear it apart. How can we make this plan better? If it sucks, let's build upon this, right? Because my first idea, I know if it's just my brain, it's probably not the best idea, but it's a starting point for other people to kind of dissect it and make it even better. So the first idea is probably not the best idea. So understand that there's more ideas to come that are going to be even better from that first idea, though. So you got Ian, you got anything on this?
Yeah. Y'all hit a lot of good points. But you and I were actually chatting about it at the gym, and it kind of got me thinking what, your story and just the greats out there that have really the skill, I guess you could say, really good in mental agility. And for me, I thought of preparation of like basics, right? Like if you are just so honed in on the basics day to day in a routine, when something new arises, you don't have to worry about it because it's like second nature to you. So when something new comes, it's easier to shift and adjust with it, right? Because everything else has been done so many times that you just kind of, it's not even a thought. Um,
It's
so like,
automatic.
yeah, it's automatic. Like there's like, I don't know, take it to sports. There's been Kurt Warner probably threw 1,000 footballs. He worked at a grocery store, and then eventually when a shot came, it was second nature. And you know, long story short, he's a Super Bowl champion. I'm pretty sure Super Bowl MVP. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but and then to your story of the army, they basics all the time, just train. So when they're ready for that first plan to just not work out, that second one, that third one, or if they're on the fly, they're ready for it.
So how do you get that adaptive mental agility? How do you become very good at it? I like that thought process. I'm there with you that you do have to have a routine that builds upon the basics, and then you hit them so hard so whenever that plan does fail, you have something to rely on. Like you have a strong foundation when the spot's on you and you have to make a quick move. You've already been making that quick move on the day to day, so it's no longer a hard decision to do. It's automatic at that point. So that's where daily habits or routine are going to help you for the storm that's going to come, because no matter in any situation, whether you feel like you made it or you reach that final destination, you hit that goal, the storm's always going to come, whether you got the Lambo or not. The storm's coming. It may come in different ways, and people may last longer and get through it faster, but the storm's always going to come. And if you don't have anything to rely on, you're going to get crushed, right? You got to constantly be preparing yourself for that storm because it's coming no matter what. How do you do it? With your daily routine, with your daily habits getting strong, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if you have a strong foundation of a routine of things you that you can fall back on, right? That makes you strong. I think that's something that is definitely, it's gonna help you adapt or shift quicker. And so, but you have to have, I think, also like kind of with that, like that growth mindset, right? So if something doesn't where you have to change and shift, adapt, just know that, all right, this is an opportunity for me to grow. All right. So, like Chris, learn a new skill, really go into a different world, right? That, he was used to. So, I mean, anyone that, changes or things that change, right? Or us, last year we changed from going training in person to training, online. So those things, like you had to have that mindset, like, all right, this is an opportunity for me to expand into a different facet, to a different arena, right? It's just going to help me, right? So you got to have that type of mindset. You got to shift your mindset to, okay, this is something that's going to benefit me. I went from, okay, I can't change the situation, got to accept it. Now, how can I learn from this? How can I grow in this? How can I make, right, lemonade out of these lemons I just got, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the train of thought that, you got to have to train your mind to shift quickly or change directions quickly. When I was working at the call center, like, man, things change all the time. Priorities change, business change, because you're looking a business how to, thinking about the next thing, to bring in revenue. So things are also, things are also, constantly changing. I think I've did so many different things there. When I think about it, I think I did like I was in charge of like 5 different things in like 3 years, because like, hey, I need you to take this on and, do this. I was in charge of like selling tires over the phone. I've never done that before, so we had to learn that. We sold replacement parts over the phone. I was in charge of that. They changed me from different spots because that's where they needed me, but I had to change not only me, but I had to bring my whole team with me. Sometimes I had to like split them up. And so it was just that, okay, all right, I gotta change, and it's scary sometimes because you're putting in that uncomfortable spot, right? If you've been doing something for a long time, you're comfortable, you're good, you're in your lane, you're in your mojo, and then you're like, boom, now you're feeling uncomfortable. It's like, I don't like this. This is not something that I want to do. Sometimes it's something that you even select, like it just happens. It's done for you. You got nothing. No, you're like, I don't want to do this. You're put in that uncomfortable spot. But what's our motto though, right?
Yeah.
I
do want to talk about those two people. I think the general population, I want to help them, get them something tangible. So we're just thinking, we have this one population where their life is mapped out, right? It's the typical, I want to go to college, I want to get a house, I want to get a degree, I want to get the job, right? It's your life plan is kind of mapped out, right? Whether you did it on your own or it was forced upon you and you were geared towards it. So there's those people, right? And unfortunately, life does happen and it doesn't pan out like it should, right? You had a baby, you had that injury, you didn't make the NBA, you tore your ACL, you had all these things that big. You worked years up and to get to that moment, right? And like Chris, or maybe you got the degree and you didn't get the job you wanted, like whatever. You were working on that life plan, that big life plan, and you get punched in the face and it doesn't go your way. And so you settle. Like majority of the people, they settle and they think, well, shit, I guess this is it. I worked my ass off all these years. Whatever adversity, opposition you face, injury, babies, or like life, death in the family, I don't know what it is. You didn't finish. You didn't finish the plan. And now you're just stuck at a day 8 to 5, like a job that you don't really love. You just kind of just fell into it. And now you're just cruising through life like, damn, like I spent years doing this. I'm not going to do it again. So I'm just stuck here, right? You have those people. How can we help them? How can we shift it? Are they done? Is like this, is this it? Is this life for them?
Yeah. So you had touched on something earlier, like when you're talking about working on your mental agility, and you're talking about having like a routine. And I agree to an extent, but even without that, you can't be completely like you can't have a routine because then you're not getting out of your comfort zone like you were talking about. But I mean, a way you could still have the routine, but then still get out of your comfort zone would be like, for instance, like one of the big things I saw when it came to mental agility was reading. But it's not just reading; it's also like it's reading things, but it's also like reading things that you wouldn't normally go and try to read. So you could start seeing different viewpoints of things, and so you want to fight that sameness. You don't want to just keep having the same thing over and over again, because then you're just going to get in that hamster wheel and just kind of repeat yourself. So you repeat yourself over and over again. And like we were talking about being comfortable and uncomfortable, that's our motto. Like you need to embrace the unknown, because like if you just, like I said, if you're just sticking to what you know, you're not really going to be able to adjust. Like you're not going to be able to adapt. Like you need to be able to put yourself in those situations that you're going to be okay, even though you might not know why or how, but at the end of the day, because you put yourself out there, that you'll figure it out. Like we always say, like also say everything's figure outable, but
I get that totally. But if your routine is not challenging, you got a fucked up routine. You probably need to change your routine. Your routine, the things you should do on the daily, they should be helping you get 1% better, right? Whether you're working out, what are you doing? You're challenging yourself. We're reading a new book. What are you doing? You're challenging yourself mentally. Like your routine should be helping you getting stronger. It's not like a routine where I'm gonna pass by the fridge and pop open a beer. Like that's not serving you. That's not a good routine. That's actually a bad habit, right? So make sure that your habits or routines, they're developing for that next level, right? They're constantly
and that's why I was saying that I mean I agree with you,
clarify. I
but
like how
yeah,
you're my
I just
clarify
want
guy. I
to
guess we need to
specify.
clarify that and make sure it's not a routine where I'm just like waking up and going to work and come back home. Like that's my fucking routine. No, it does need to challenge you. But I just feel like y'all all understand about that life. Like this was my big game, my big plan, and it just didn't pan out. And now they're just stuck on the 8 to 5. And I kind of heard this, the answer to this was it was pretty deep, is people get married to the plan. And the plan kind of disables you because it puts you in that box. But what you need to get married to is the mission. And that's where people go wrong. They don't have a mission, and the mission moves you. And so, for example, we all wrote down a mission, right? My mission in my life is to motivate, encourage, and inspire people to live out their dreams, to never quit, right? Everything's figure outable. Anything's possible. That is my mission. And so whether I'm with Camp Gladiator doing real estate or whatever I'm doing, if Camp Gladiator doesn't work out, I can be able to pivot and still follow my mission. My mission is still the mission. The plan was maybe Camp Gladiator, do everything I possibly can to motivate, encourage, and inspire there. But if it does not work out, life happens. I'm not like done, like, oh my gosh, this was it. No, my mission in my life is to motivate, encourage, and inspire people to live out their dreams by actually doing it myself. The mission is to the mission, but when you're married to the plan, this is all you can focus on. Like, for example, people will try to lose weight every single time. Maybe they go on keto, right? They have the meal plan. They have all these plans ready for them, set and go. And the meal plan just didn't work and they don't lose the weight. And they give up. Well, no. It wasn't keto. It's not keto. The mission is the weight loss. You just have to be able to adapt and find something new. Like the mission is still the mission. Don't give up on the mission. You got married to the plan. Maybe you're going back to keto. Keto didn't work. Don't go back to keto. You need to blow that plan up and come up with a new idea. Come up with something new. Come up with something better. And so if anybody's stuck and they went on that life journey, right, they spent all those 10, 20, 15, 20 years, got master's degrees or whatever the case you did, and it didn't pan out, well, the mission's still there. You have now what Chris did. Now you've added value. You've got the degree, but maybe that path right there, that plan, is not there. Maybe it's just right here it's still in the same arena, but maybe it's just something a little bit different. And so I want to help anybody who's done that or been there, who has the 8 to 5, YouTube basketball. Majority of those guys that do YouTube basketball, at one point the plan was, since they were 5 years old, to go to the NBA. They worked all the way from 5 to about 18, 19, 20 years old, and they told you ain't going to the NBA. But what did they do? The mission wasn't NBA. The mission was, I'm going to find a way with basketball somehow, some way. So when the people that are getting blessed right now, who are blowing up all over social media, right? Everybody who thought the NBA was there for them are now getting blessed now by just staying committed to the mission. Even though it wasn't the financial process, they still played basketball no matter what. Now they just got a video camera in front of their face and now they blew up. They're being blessed is because they stay committed to the mission.
And it's just like back in the day, it was like and one mixtapes. Like that was like that was what these new people are today, like on social media. Kind of gave them a blueprint of what they can do outside of just making the NBA or playing pro ball overseas or something like that. There's so many options for you, especially, I mean, all these guys are super talented, but maybe just that style of ball or whatever, it just wasn't for them. And like they made it work for them, and you got to give them props for that.
I think that's just so deep, guys. Don't get married to the plan. The plan's going to change. The plan's going to fail. Life's going to happen. Somebody's going to die along the way, unfortunately. but the mission is still the mission. Everybody has their own mission, right? If you don't have that, if you haven't found that yet, I advise you to do some self-work, dig deep. Like, what do you want in life, right? What do you want to achieve in life? Like, where that mission is going to move you. It is the motor to keep you going. There's gonna be plans along the way, and they're all gonna fucking blow up. But the mission,
you can use different avenues, use different vehicles to get you to the place you still want to go. Same place, different vehicles. Sometimes
another
it
thing
changes.
that's holding them back.
Yeah,
is the time frame.
I know we have that, and I had that conversation with my wife a couple years, like, man, maybe 2 months ago. We're like, man, I started thinking the time frame of like, man, I should be here. I should be at a different point, right, at my goals at this point in time. I had that like vision of myself at this point in time. I should be at a different place.
And everyone has those.
Yeah,
has those
right.
thoughts.
You still have like, but then you come to perspective, like, man, I'm still pretty young, to be honest with you. I still got a long way to go. And then my wife put all the things in perspective, though. Like, yeah, but she told me, you're just looking at the things you haven't accomplished, but look at the things you have accomplished.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I started thinking about it, and I was like, you're right. I have accomplished a lot. Sometimes you focus too much on your losses, but then when you start thinking about your wins, then they start adding up. You're like, oh damn, I have been doing stuff.
What matters?
Because those losses sting.
Yeah. Inky Johnson said, "What matters most? Is it what you acquire along your journey, or what you become?"
Oh, yeah.
I had to have that conversation with somebody about entrepreneurship, because they have this time frame of when they think they're supposed to blow up, and if they don't get there in that time frame, they think about giving up. And what he said in that moment, I was like, oh man, this is just so deep. It's not what you acquire along the way, it's what you become along the way. And that's why you got to have that mission to keep moving forward, because you are becoming that person to keep pushing out to your mission. Everybody has a mission. God gave everyone a mission, guys. Right. And it may not be as, fast as you want it to be, but if you stay true to that mission, and you take quitting off the table,
that's right.
I truly believe you're going to get there. I don't know when,
man.
Right? I don't know when, but you're going to get there.
It's like that. It's like that closing date. We don't know when, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, I don't know when.
Sure.
I'm going to get there. But man, that's it. What do y'all think about that topic, man? Was that?
Man, it was good, man. I've never heard about it, but like I said, it's similar to adaptability, but there's definitely a lot of nuggets that, I got out of it. One, just in the podcast, but also just from reading a lot of content out there about that definitely can help. And like I said, and sometimes, let's say you're hearing the podcast or you read it and you're like, oh, it doesn't really apply to me right now, but it will. Like, it's going to come a point in time where something's going to happen, fork in the road, something, you're going to be like, oh, I read Mental Agility. I prepared for this moment, right?
Everyone wants success, right? And Winston Churchill describes success just like this. It ties into mental agility. It says success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, right? When that adversity comes, when the storm comes, when the plane crashes, are you able to adapt to the new plan with more energy or more to the new plan? That was that success. Like, it started tying everything together. I told you this topic like unleashed something in me, and it started like putting all the dots together. It just phenomenal freaking topic. If you guys got to dig deep, if you felt like this touched you, I want you to dig deep more. And if this didn't touch you and you want success, I don't know what will. Don't touch yourself though.
All right.
Unless that's what you're going for your success.
All right.
Interesting. All right. That's a good way to close it out, huh?
Gotta get a crack somewhere. Crack small somewhere.
I don't know how to top that. I really don't.
Oh, finish with this quote. You got a quote?
I don't.
This one tied in again. It just reaffirms everything from this one topic, that this is, you should put all your energy into this. It's not the strong who survive. It's not the smart who survive. It's the ones who adapt that survive. And I don't know who said that. I'm not too sure who said that.
Google. Google said it. But yeah, you were born to be great. So please go and do it. As always, thanks for joining us today. Till next time. Peace and love.